Real news. True, honest, and not fake news.
How are you today, Sir Alex?
Well, I am doing very well. How about you, Mr. What was your name again?
I'm Mr. Jack.
Mr. Jackson.
Jackson. Yes.
Named after one of my favorite presidents.
Oh, yes. So, now we are going to go into real news. And what do we have on the schedule today? We have Alex as our guest, and we're going to start off with the biggest news of the week, the Manafort wiretap. What are your thoughts on that, sir?
Well, I wasn't surprised. You know, when the God Emperor spoke of the wiretapping issue back during, I think it was a couple months ago, he mentioned it, and all the fake news media, they were spewing lies and deceit. And they said there was no Trump wiretapping going on, and now they have proof that there's Trump wiretapping. Not that I was surprised. I mean, look what Mr. Eduardo Snowden revealed. Edward, my bad. Must have had a
You're culturally appropriating him.
Oh, no. But, you know, he revealed all the phones, pretty much everything. They had, the government has access to it. And I've been saying this sort of thing for years, and, you know, people... You know, me and the other Alex, Mr. Alexander Jones, he was also mentioning this for years, and no one really seemed to think about it. And now we have proof it's happened, and it even happened to Trump. But I wish that Trump, you know, maybe he could go and, like, stop it. I don't like being wiretapped. I don't think Trump likes being wiretapped. Can we all agree not to wiretap people, like, warrantlessly anymore? I'd be happy with that.
I agree. For those that don't understand, Manafort was wiretapped during, before, and after the campaign. And CNN reported on it out of all the news stations. Isn't that ironic? After they said that it was a baseless false claim.
Oh, yes, that is quite ironic. CNN has a track record for being publishing disreputable information. They had a certain they had a urination gate scandal with Donald Trump.
Golden shower gate.
Yes, and I'm not really sure like why people even hold these men in regard. They doxed
and women.
They doxed like a random Reddit user whose name we can't mention on the air.
Yes.
But he was based off of a famous Star Wars character. That's all the information I'll give on that. But, you know, they doxed him for making a meme on the internet. Like, these people...
How dare you make a meme today? You can't do that.
These sort of people, I despise, you know, CNN and what they stand for. It's like for years people made fun of Fox News for being biased.
Right.
But, you know... CNN has always been like that. It's the Clinton News Network, the Communist News Network. No one's really started paying attention till the God Emperor himself, you know, Mr. 45. He said something about it.
I agree. Yeah, I think it's pretty crazy. And that's why I love that Trump comes out and exposes all these people. The God Emperor rules them all.
Well, it kind of makes sense, though. Like, we memed him into office. Like, if you look into... esoteric memetics, you know, like the more that people believe in something, like you can kind of like make it true. Like that's what like a lot of these like weird like cults and magical practices for thousands of years were based on. It looks
Do you
like,
practice those, Alex?
No, I mean I like to think of myself as Roman Catholic. I'm not very much a fan of Mr. The Pope.
Oh, I don't like the Pope.
He seems like he's a communist sympathizer. I believe he made statements that was a couple weeks ago in support of illegal immigration. I mean, the Catholic Church seems to love that because that's where a lot of their supporters come from, and they use it. And I mean, the Catholic Church, they've had all sorts of scandals with all sorts of people of ill repute. I mean, the Nazis came in, like they used to give them shelter after World War II. They come to the United States and the church would protect them. I mean, and it kind of makes sense too because you look where the Vatican City, who gave it to them? You know who did that?
The Jews?
No. It was a certain Italian dictator.
Mussolini
Linguini, yes.
You know, did you see Steve Bannon's interview on 60 Minutes?
No, I did.
He shot down the Catholic Church so hard. He called them out for their, you know, wanting illegal immigrants to have more Catholics because they're losing numbers dramatically. He's the only one to red-pilling people on, like, stuff like that. And he did it on air. Everybody saw it. They didn't edit it out. It was great.
Well, he makes a lot of good points. I mean, look at how the church has changed. I mean, you go and see the white Anglo-Saxon male. You know, they're all by and large they're not religious anymore. So like you see a lot more, and most people in first world countries aren't even religious anymore. So you got people in third world countries. So I guess they turn to religion because they want to go. They live in pretty hard times, and they want to go and pray to someone and hope that they get some sort of help over here, and versus now you have all these like people like, oh, it's cool to hate on God, man.
Yes.
Like no, there's gotta be something.
Satan.
Like what's the point of life if there's just no afterlife? Like, Jesus, I'd be bored. And you know what too?
Yeah, but it doesn't make sense. That's my problem with it.
And the thing too.
I think we want an afterlife, but there isn't one.
I mean, have you ever had a near-death experience?
No.
Okay, how do you know?
Well, you can't know if there's a heaven if you haven't died yet.
Well, I mean, that's
and
why.
then when you die, you can't report back.
Well, no, you have near-death. Look at the people who have near-death experiences. There's a lot of people who report on, there's a heaven and there's a place rhymes with a certain gasoline station.
I think you're right on that one. You know where else those people that rhyme with a certain gasoline station could go? Yeah. The people at the Emmys. Did you see that? The Emmys.
Did
you watch the Emmys on Sunday?
No.
Oh, good.
Why would I watch
it was
this?
such a big anti-Trump circle jerk.
That's all it is these days. They just go and express their hate for the current president. If you expressed your hate for Barack Hussein Obama back in the day, that would be considered
racist.
Like you were like a super like hard right KKK member. That's what they pointed out as.
Yeah.
And nowadays, if you don't like hate Trump, then you're considered in that group. Like, what has happened? 8 years. It's only been 8 years since we last had a conservative in office.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if I consider George Bush to be a conservative.
He's a globalist neocon.
He is a globalist neocon. He gave a bad name to conservative. He's
absolutely
like, I don't even know why people. Like, even to be honest, Reagan, I think there's a lot of stuff with Reagan.
Mm-hmm.
Some stuff of his I agree. He allowed like, what was it, 1 million illegal immigrants. They just got citizenship. I think he did. He did the Hughes Amendment, which banned automatic weapons from new ones from being registered, which I thought was actively that's like an attack on the poor people, because they're the people who need those weapons more, and you can't. It costs so much. If I want to buy like an automatic rifle, like even just like a low receiver of like a AR-15, I guess it would be an M16. I'm not really sure the exact difference.
Well, ARs can be modified for an automatic, right?
Well, no. Like if I want to get a legal, transferable for a regular Joe like me or you, no one with a Class 3 dealer license, it will cost me around $20,000. You know what I could buy with $20,000?
Many things. A car.
I could buy one of those fancy smancy little video cameras that Penn State likes to give the students.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, they didn't give it to us. They just let you rent it if you take one of these classes. So you have to be a privileged group.
Oh yeah, like it's ridiculous though, and I just don't know why people liked Reagan so much. Like, I mean, that's like everyone. If you ever been to a CPAC, it's just like
they
a
love
big
Reagan.
They just go like, oh, all hell Reagan, all hell the moral. It's like the whole idea of moral majority.
Yeah.
Like, I don't
play with the toys here.
Yes, I don't have a fidget spinner. No, but
you need a fidget spinner.
Oh man, winner fidget spinner. Gotta go and spin to win, man. But no, it keeps my autism in check.
Autistic Alex, people, thank you. And you say I'm the one with the problems. No, yeah, Reagan, I think it is weird how they prayed him so much, because I think he did do some good things, and that's fine, but it's like, he's the president from the 80s. Like, that's like 30 years ago at this point. We have other people. Can we pray to Trump? They never do it.
Well, like the 80s,
they don't want to.
The 80s weren't even that good. Look at the cars that we had back then. Like, they look cool, but it was like, it looked cool on the outside, but on the inside, you have like a V8. Like, what was it? The Mustang of that era got like 200 horsepower. My Honda Accord got 240. It could, if it was rear-wheel drive, it could outrun the Mustang of that. I mean, you probably still could outrun the Mustang. And everything was slow. Like, it was terrible. Like, the cars that shows the world what it was. It was like, I mean, yeah, they had like just the import scene they started, but it was still terrible. Like, look at today. You can have like, you have cars that get like 600 horsepower. Like, who needs 600 horsepower? Like a minivan. Like
all those soccer moms.
Mercedes-Benz. They made a minivan that gets like 600 horsepower, like an AMG engine. Why? Like, I mean, I like just like ridiculous power, but I guess why do you really want that? 'Cause that's just
I agree.
too crazy. You have kids in the car. You'd be like,
screw them,
going like 120 miles per hour on the highway, like 0 to 60 in like 5 seconds in a minivan.
Ooh, yes.
Well, I guess if you want to go and impress all the soccer moms.
Yeah.
I mean, you can pick up some chicks that way. There you go.
Is that how I do it? I get a minivan that has 700 horsepower and go on the highway like.
Yeah, dude. You know, your minivan brings all the boys to your girls.
It does have a lot of space. I'll give it that.
I mean, sure, you probably get like 5 miles a gallon in that thing, but
5.
I mean, the gas is so cheap, even though it's expensive. When I first got my license,
poor people.
When I got my license, it was like 4 something, and I was running on regular back then. I'm running premium now. It's only 3 something. I'm fine with that. Like, I mean, it's not preferable, but like when you take into account inflation, like gas is probably cheaper now than it's been since like the 70s.
And guess who's helped do that? Donald J. Trump.
Well, yeah, and now we have the Hurricane Sandy, though. So, I mean, they kind of knocked down some of our refinery. Or not Sandy.
Irma or Harvey?
Yeah, all the above.
All the hurricanes.
Yeah, we just had so many hurricanes this season.
Yeah, it's been pretty bad. They blame it on climate change. Yeah, that's their favorite thing to go to, climate change. And these are the people that make fun of the conservatives going, oh, would you look at that? It's snowing. There's no global warming. And they're going, oh, would you look at that? There's a hurricane. Global warming. It's anecdotal. Both of them are anecdotal.
They blame everything on global warming. You know, it's like that meme where they have the guy on the bicycle and he sticks a stick inside the bicycle. Where
Yes.
Like, global warming.
Crash.
Yeah, like it doesn't make any sense. Like there's, you know, I don't think pollution is good, but like I'm more worried about pollution than global warming. I don't think your car is going to go and like destroy the world. I'd be more worried about like the McDonald's burger that you throw out, like the wrapper you throw out the window. So I see all this trash. Like, you know, I was in the Chesapeake area the other day, visiting my uncle. Great man. We're walking along there, and there was like all this trash. This is supposed to be a nice area. Yeah, people were just like throwing. Like it was in Columbia, Maryland. Nice place.
Freaking disgusting.
We were going by Clyde's. Excellent place. I've been there a couple of times. We were by Clyde's restaurant. There's McDonald's and like Arby's, just trash and plastic shopping bags, like Walmart bags, all this stuff on the streets.
Wow.
You know that the little animals. You know, you see squirrels. And speaking of squirrels, I heard there's been like a
There's been a lot killed here.
There's been a squirrel mutilator on the streets.
A squirrel mutilator. There's a squirrel serial murder out here. Yeah. They haven't caught them. They're just like, they sent out like a thing, you know, in the email saying, oh, there's been a bunch of squirrels, you know, killed. Oh no, panic. It's been not by natural causes. We're all going to die. Oh no.
See, that's just weird. I wonder who's doing it.
Why would they do it? That's why I don't care. Are they like serial killers in the making? They're like testing it out on squirrels?
I don't know. I'm kind of worried about that.
Sandusky's coming back as a serial killer. You heard it here first.
Hold on. I'm getting a news report. Apparently there was also bunnies.
Dun, dun, dun.
There were bunnies involved in the murders too. I wonder if
No.
Oh jeez.
3 bunnies. Oh no.
I know.
3 innocent buddies. This is out of hand now.
Well, see, I don't like the fact that people are just murdering these things, but they do need to do something about the squirrels, because I've seen.
I hate them.
There was one time.
Kill them all.
I don't know. Well, see, I wouldn't mind, you know, doing away with them, but like I don't think stabbing them with an X-Acto knife is the final solution to this problem. What we need to do with the squirrels, in order to remedy the situation, why don't we introduce some predators and not like the Sandusky predators? We get like a fox or like the hawks. We get something like that. We bring them over.
Jerry the jackal.
Oh jeez, I don't think Penn State needs something one of those. We need to get like natural predators. I mean, I saw a hawk one time. It circles around and the squirrels running up.
I've seen them kill him. Have you seen that?
Yeah, it's so
crazy.
We need more of that. Yes, they go right up to you, and you know what? Squirrels, they carry a lot of diseases. They can carry. They can carry the plague.
Ooh.
Do you want to get the plague?
Yes. No.
You already got the plague. No, like
I have the blue and white plague.
You get like the bubonic plague. It's like not fun, man. It killed like a bunch of people in Europe. You get get like rabies. Like they're the rats of the trees. We need to do something about them.
What does this have to do with the Emmys? That's what we started out here with and segued. We got to cars and then we got the squirrels.
Oh yeah, but the Emmys, it's just a bunch of people who are full of themselves and hate Donald Trump. You know.
Yeah, there's nothing really to be said there. I mean, the squirrels are more interesting than the squirrels getting killed at Penn State are more interesting than the Emmys.
It's more relevant.
It is more relevant. It's a bigger issue.
And you know what apparently also is a really big issue these days?
What?
Oh, apparently there's been some white supremacist posters
Oh, yes. The Identity Evropa posters have been popping up on campus. And President Barron, he comes out with a statement, which I thought was, on his part, very fair. He said, These are hateful people I don't want on my campus, but I support the freedom of speech and the post is going to stay up. That wasn't enough for the far leftists here. They were butthurt over that statement.
Yeah, I don't understand them. The thing is, I've not, like, there was one student, I think he had an interview for Collegian or one of the various leftist journal magazines that proliferate around Penn State.
The PSU, MSM.
Not the State Patriot. That's like the only news site.
That's the only good news source here.
That's the only news source that isn't like complete leftist garbage.
Yes.
Like Onward State, complete leftist garbage. StateCollege.org. I keep, every time I go on my internet browser, like on my phone, they keep giving me like malicious, like these like weird pop-ups keep coming up, and it's like your phone's been infected with a virus.
Oh, Jesus.
Click here within 30 seconds, or else we'll like, I don't know.
We'll dox you.
I keep getting these like weird messages. Like they need to get a better ad revenue source because I can't even read their articles. You know, if there's anyone listening from, was it statecollege.org?
Yeah, that's what you said.
Please fix this.
Yes.
This has happened, and you know, it was like the web URL. I can't even like that. It's like a bunch of numbers and letters. Like, why do you have this? Are you that desperate for money that you're allowing these people on here? But no, what the issue is with this Identity Evropa, I wonder who's really putting them up.
Yeah. Is it really them? Because guess what? I was on their Twitter, and they always brag about where they're putting up posters every time. And they keep it up to date. It's not like this happened like a year ago, and they've not touched their Twitter. State College has not been tweeted about. I think it's false flag.
Oh, wait, you're looking at Identity Evropa on there?
No, Alex. I have no interest in these people. I was doing an investigation for the good of the community. I was taking one for the team here.
Oh, okay. You sure not going to be like CNN, like, oh, we can look at WikiLeaks, but you guys can't.
Yeah.
We're going to look at Identity Evropa, you guys can't. Heard it here first, folks. 90.7 FM, The Lion. All those
Identity Europa information you're hearing from us. So don't listen to you can't download that. That's illegal. That's what they're gonna say. I'm honest with you. But Barron was fine about, and we had the Goku scream a couple days ago. Okay. Yes, it's funny just saying that.
What is the Goku screaming? In case there's people on here who are older than the age of like 20.
Yeah, I understand. I didn't even know what it was. It's a bunch of people that group up and scream like an anime character. Let that sink in. It's that bad and cringy. The one guy, he like starts to scream. He goes, ah, and then he motions like a wave like toward them. He goes, ah, and everybody falls over and screams. It's the stupidest thing in the world.
Well, see, this is what upsets me at the university. They want to make us think that we're like awesome people and responsible adults, but then we have stuff like this.
Yeah, you can't take us seriously.
We need safe spaces. We can't have these like posters, these offensive posters. And by the way, I saw there's a socialist.
There's a socialist poster. United Socialists.
They had like an Antifa.
They have an Antifa style logo. They have the hammer and sickle on their hub poster and the anarchism symbol. And they call themselves not communist. There's a communism symbol on there.
Isn't Antifa now considered like
they're a terrorist group? So UHS declare them a terrorist group. Yep.
So we have a terrorist sympathizer organization on campus.
Yes, we do. Watch out. And they're worried about Identity Evropa. That's the big scare of these like two white supremacists that are on campus. Even if they are there, it could be a false flag. But there's a socialist group that has the Antifa logo, and they're destroying Berkeley, and they're going to destroy it when Milo gets there in a few days. It's absolutely crazy.
Yeah, we've had Antifa propaganda here as well too, because I remember last year on www.thestatepatriot.com, I've seen
we have good articles on it.
There's an article about someone finding stickers from Antifa around campus, and nobody else reported on it. I did not see a single article from Onward State, not a single one from statecollege.org.
Or the Collegian.
Yeah. What's going on? Are these people...
Are they covering it up?
Are they in league with these people?
They're either covering it up, they don't care about it, or they don't know about it. But also there's the Antifa posters in Willard, remember? Somebody put those up?
Oh, yeah, sure.
They didn't talk about those, did they?
No. What's going on at Penn State? I don't know. There's all these organizations over here, and they're obviously aligned with alt-left groups. We have alternative left groups. You know, I'm more afraid of the alt-left than the alt-right, to be honest with you.
Well, there's more of them. That's a simple fact. The thing in Charlottesville gathered like a few of these Nazi white supremacist scum that they had to come from all over the country to actually have a impressive showing. It's not like these people were all in Charlottesville. The guy that drove the Challenger or Charger, was it Challenger?
I don't know. It's Dodge.
It was a Dodge. Yeah, yeah. And that guy came from like Ohio. I'm like, these people are like hiding in like tiny nooks and crannies, and nobody cares about them. Antifa is professors. Eric Clanton, the guy that was hitting people that had the bike lock. Yeah, bike lock boy. He was a professor.
Do you just assume his gender?
Oh, shoot. Sorry. I apologize. I'm sorry, people. We do not know the gender of Eric Clanton. I mean, we made some assumptions there, and we apologize. It's our bad.
I think someone found his Tinder profile before. I remember.
And Grindr.
Yeah. It was on I think it was one of his dating website profiles, and he had his interest was revolution.
Well, imagine my shock.
We're gonna be sued by Infowars now.
Infowars.com. Bill Clinton is a rapist. We're going to talk quickly about Trump's UN speech. Did you see it, or did you see parts of it?
No, honestly, I have not seen that speech. I've been living in my own little world these past few days. I've been traveling all over the eastern state of PA and kind of Maryland.
Mm-hmm.
I got this beautiful little dog. He's not really low. He's like 100 pounds, and he's mean. He's not mean. He's mean looking. He loves people.
Well, did you see any socialism on the way?
I mean, there's socialists everywhere these days. I mean, I saw someone with like a Bernie Sanders like cutout poster today. Like, what's up with that? Like, why do people idolize that man? He's a sellout.
He is a total sellout. He totally shilled for Hillary at the end there. He's like, oh, the revolution will continue. But first I got to endorse Hillary. Here you go. The most corrupt can in the world that I totally hate. Here you go, guys. She's great. Vote for her.
Why do people like support this so much? Like, I think we need to go and change like how colleges work in America, because right now Penn State, they're raising it by, I think they're talking about.
Yeah, they're going to raise tuition.
Possibly by up to 4,000%. Or not 4,000. $4,000 in addition. So for an in-state student, that's $14,000 a semester.
Yeah.
And it's not like we have a lot of scholarships here. When I was a Penn State student, my GPA was like a 3.8 something or other. When I graduated magna cum laude, and when I did, I really didn't get any scholarships. Where's it going?
We don't know. Is it going to the cover up the Beta Phi death?
Oh, yeah. What is going with I don't remember which fraternity it was, but
Beta Theta Pi thing.
Why are they like blaming Penn State for this? There's a lot of things you can blame Penn State for. The high tuition, for making people for having classes that you really don't need to go and take, like the gen eds. But how can you blame for this? Penn State's been at war with fraternities since I went here, like in 2013. Why are we blaming Penn State for saying that a fraternity, which is, I mean, maybe tangentially affiliated with Penn State? Like,
I don't understand those rules, because like they can drink, but that's not legal here. It's like, and they say you can't do that on campus, but like, then I hear some people say it's on campus frat, but it's not. I'm like, I don't get it.
Well, I think they voluntarily said, I mean, it's their own property. Well, yeah, I think it still is. So like, they could go any on campus frat, if it's their own property, they can, as long as they're 21 or over, they could have people drink. And there's nothing Penn State could do about it. But they said they were.
You just had to be 21.
They said they were a dry frat, but it's a fraternity. They're going to do whatever they want.
I know. That's a joke. It's like, what are you going to stop? How are you going to stop it? Rules? No.
They'll just find ways around. Like, I heard that these days they have I haven't been to a frat in years. I mean, it's just not my cup of tea. But I
don't like them at all.
I heard some rumors around the grapevine that they said that we can go and inspect commons floors to make sure there's no alcohol, but then they just go into their like little dorm areas.
Oh yeah.
They just go and drink in there.
Yeah.
Like, how can you? And they have hard liquor up there. Like, you can't, and they can't go into people's rooms because that would be a clear violation of privacy. But I think what they need to do, Penn State's. I guess the only reason that they were even affiliated with Penn State is because I don't know. This is conjecture. I have no clue. But I think like Penn State was like in between. Instead of going to the cops every time there was like an alcohol violation, they go to Penn State and they go and write them up, and they won't get punished as much. Which I have no problem with. I don't think that the alcohol laws here make much sense. You can go and die for the country. at the age of 18, you can get a sex change operation at the age of like 13.
7.
What?
Yeah, that's what I saw Crowder tweet that out. He said something like along the lines of, I forget what it was like you can't do this at age this, but at age 7 you can get a sex change.
I'll
look that up.
I don't know. I don't think at age 7, I didn't even know what what the birds and the bees were, other than things that sting you and peck you. But when I was young, I was not thinking about that. Like, how do you know?
Wait, you weren't? You weren't thinking about your gender?
No, I didn't care. I was thinking about.
I wasn't either.
I was thinking about like Transformers and like I don't know what I was like Billy and Manny back when they had good, Ed and Eddie. Good Lord, love that show. R.I.P. Ed and Eddie.
I remember that show.
Yeah, I remember.
Real news, people.
Only
Real
90s,
news.
only 90s kids will remember this show.
Yeah. Well, what I was trying to say was Trump had a great quote at the UN that I love. It's probably one of his favorites. He said, "The problem in Venezuela is not that socialism has been poorly implemented, but that socialism has been faithfully implemented." That is one of his best quotes ever. I love that. It's so true.
Look at every country that had a socialist sort of government enter power. Look at China, like when it was actually socialist, not just like, I don't even know what you call it now. It's just like.
It's like a mix of like China's like communism with like.
They're like authoritarian.
Extremely.
They're authoritarian, but like their economics, like they're economically more towards the West in certain aspects.
Yeah, because they want the monies.
I mean, they're an interesting case, but look at North Korea. That's a socialist utopia. That's probably the closest to like legit like socialism, communism, and they keep saying that the countries in like Europe, like Scandinavian countries, they keep saying they're socialists. Like,
but they're not really. The only education system and their healthcare system is socialized. And they pay massive taxes for that. Everything else is basically what you have here.
Oh yeah, like look, like I think it was like Norway has like the bestiality rate in there. It's like 1 in like 10 people. Like I saw some stats somewhere. I mean, they
You're
have
looking at all the stats.
Oh yeah, like people aren't really happy over there. Everyone kind of makes around the same amount of money, but like you're paying. I think like a new Honda Accord's like $40,000.
Ooh. Was that the on the road price? 'Cause you'll see that'll say like OTR on the road.
Yes, it's something like that. Just things cost so much more in those countries. You can think you're making more money, but you're really not. Like, who's that? Notch, the guy who made Minecraft. He was from
Oh, he's red pill now. Have you seen him?
Dude, everyone these days seems to be like they.
He's red pill. Yeah, he's like PewDiePie basically. He tweets out stuff that's like pro Trump. He's red pilled.
Oh my god.
Did you see what happened to PewDiePie recently?
Well, he had a certain controversy for saying certain words which you should not say. And he said it. I don't know if he's just like doing this to go like.
He's just screwing people.
I think he's just messing with people who say I can do whatever I want because I have that.
He really can. He has so much money now, and he has so many. Like, even though YouTube will probably start demonetizing some of his stuff, they're not going to because he's their biggest moneymaker. PewDiePie is the most subscribed YouTube channel. He has the most views. He's their big moneymaker. They're not going to demonetize him massively, and I don't think they have yet.
We hear what's going on with the alt media. We have Gab's suing Google. I don't know what's going on with the domain name registrar. Like that's what they need to go and start dealing with. The domain name registrars, because they need to have like an alternative domain name registrar, because they'll just deny service to people. I mean, first to start with, the legit alt-right websites, which I don't like them, but I'd rather have the right for people to go and post what they want on the internet than
criticize it. Yeah. You can be out there and criticizing it. If it's not there, how are you going to criticize it?
Yeah, they go on the dark web and people still access it. And now they're trying to go they're trying to take down Gab, and they took them down from the Google Play Store, and the Apple Store one put them up for.
Yeah.
And there's more objectionable content on Twitter than Gab, I think. Because if you've ever been on Twitter, like they have ISIS propaganda, they have pornography. You still find alt-right people on there.
Oh, yeah.
But Gab is somehow targeted.
Richard Spencer's still on Twitter.
Oh,
that sink in.
Yeah. I don't even know why people make such a big deal about this guy.
Nobody cares about him. Only like a few people on the right know he exists. Most people don't even know who he is.
Like people, the only reason he's relevant is because people keep like bringing him up. Like
yeah, they're making. It's like David Duke. They pull him out of the woodworks every time there's like a freak incident that has something to do with KKK white supremacists, and they pull him out of the woodworks, and they become like this sort of association to Trump. They're like, oh, Trump didn't disavow David Duke, and here's David Duke saying racist things. Oh my God, you know?
Yeah, I don't even know why they care so much about him, but they had. We need to go and do something about those domain name registrars. We need to go and have it. So as long as your website's not illegal, you should be able to have a website. I have no problem with that.
Yeah.
As long as it's not illegal, we have websites all over. There's all sorts of websites, which I absolutely hate. There's like pedophile right websites like salon.com.
Yes.
With their article, I'm not a pedophile. I'm not a monster. I'm a pedophile. It should be the opposite way around, but
should be, but it isn't. Notice how that was your instinctive reaction was to do it the right way.
Why do they have? I don't know what salon.com is. They need to go and stop this stuff.
Yeah,
it's disgusting. And the left, they keep going down this road, and they're proving people on the right like that they were right because they said, "Oh, we'll never," we're
not discriminating against conservatives. That's always their narrative. And yet you have people like Sargon that are suspended from Twitter for no reason, and he's a liberal.
Yeah, all that he did,
he's just rational.
All that he did, I think he got suspended for harassing alt-right people on there.
Oh, how dare he go after the alt-right?
Twitter is defending alt-right people on their platform. Watch out. I never thought I would see the day when that happens. Twitter, please don't sue us.
Yeah, please don't. We're good people. Don't dox me, bro. Don't dox us, bro. I was going to say the Crowder tweet. This is what his tweet was. I finally found it. It says, you can't rent a car without paying a premium until you're 25 due to risky behavior of an undeveloped brain. Okay? But you can get a sex change at 7. Underdeveloped brain much?
Well,
at 7?
They don't tell you they don't tell you the problems of getting a sex change. It's not like you're playing a video game character like, oh, I'm gonna go and get a sex change, and you do a couple of options, and you just go like the surgery. It's like no, they have to get the sex change. It's a very one. It's expensive.
Yes.
2, it takes a lot of. It's not just you snip and
nip and tuck.
It's not like a nip and tuck thing. It's you have to go and have the hormones. And that's funny too. I was listening to Cronin. He made a good point. He said that you can go if a regular man injects hormones, that's considered like, oh, you're bad, you're cheating. But if a woman injects testosterone, oh, she's empowered.
Progressive.
That's progressive. And then they're letting. And then here's another thing that upset. And then once you go and do that, they don't tell you about some of the downsides. You ever see those commercials on TV? It's like transvaginal mesh. If you had that like for lawsuits, because if you do that, like you could be incontinent. You have to wear a diaper.
What?
Yeah, you can't hold in your urine. That's one of the side effects, at least for male to female. That's one of the known side effects. Never being able to have, I don't know how to word this for radio, the the excitement you gain from fulfilling your desires. You're not allowed to go, and you're never gonna be able to have that again. Fulfill your
when a gentleman pleasures himself.
The pleasure explosion, the summit. You're never going to be able to
I think we get where you're going.
You're never going to be able to have one of those again.
That is...
what's the point? Like, why? And then you have to go and literally you have to go and stretch out your newly created vagina digitally every day if you want to stay that way.
Is it like a stretching exercise?
Yeah, you do, because if you don't, your body will reject it.
Well, I wonder why.
Because
I wonder why.
Your body sees, and you have to go and take these special pills to make you realize that this...
A red pill?
No, you have to go...
This is a big blue pill, isn't it?
I don't know. I mean, I feel bad for these people because...
I do, because they have problems.
You have to go and take these pills every day. And if you don't take the pills, then your body will reject itself, and you end up getting a huge infection, and you could die. You could get...
Wait, infections down there?
Yeah. You could get infection because your body sees it as a wound, as a giant open wound, because that's more or less what it is. You don't have the female reproductive organ. You'll never be able to go and have a child. You'll never be able to go and have a baby. You thankfully never have to deal with a period. That sounds like it's very unpleasant.
So I've heard.
But... you will never, like, why do we keep telling people that they can do this when they can't? Like, you can look like a woman, you can dress like a woman, and I'm fine with that. You know, if you want to go,
I don't care what you look like.
If you want to dress in drag, you know, more power to you. But if you want to go and
cut things off and put things on and look like something you're not,
yeah, at least,
physically,
like, at least think beforehand, because there's a lot you're gonna be risking. And you know, I had to go and look this up online. You're putting yourself in and you're not gonna be able to go back from this. Once you make that decision, you can never go back to the way it used to be. If you're man,
it's
like,
never the same.
You know, women who transition to men can have kids because I don't know. I don't even want to think about.
I don't want to know how that happens.
But they're able to do that, and they're able to still have their womanly things. But men, you'll never be able to have kids again.
That sucks. You know, I'm gonna have to turn on that because we have another important topic to talk about. I know you're covering important stuff, but another man, female, I don't know what is it? Lawrence O'Donnell.
Like
yeah,
the movie, like with the clown Pennywise, the dancing clown.
He is like a clown. This guy. You know, if anybody hasn't seen it, somebody in his studio leaked outtakes of him freaking out on this one, and he's sitting at his table, you know, and he's like, "I'm hearing something in my earpiece. I'm hearing something." And then he just screams, "Who's asking for a Labor Day rundown in my ear?" And he's like yelling at his staff, and they're like coming on and like giving him new papers. And he's just like, he takes like a piece of paper and like slowly like folds it in half. He goes and like throws it. And he's like, you know, he keeps doing that. And he at one point, like, you know, like I said, the staff come up and they look scared. Some of them, and some of them act like it was completely normal. That's the weird thing. Like, they act like this is normal. And they're going up there, helping him with stuff. And he's still complaining about stuff. He's like, "Who's hammering in my ear? I'm hearing hammering. Somebody stop that hammering." I'm laughing because it's funny. I felt sorry for the people working for the total jerk, but he's an MSNBC host, Imagine My Shock, and he keeps screaming at him for 8 minutes. It's 8 minutes this goes on. And at one point, he's like, he physically like spurgs out, like he goes "Arr!" and he like clenches his fist and like makes like a mad face. I thought he was gonna like turn green and start like smashing the building apart. I mean, the guy was freaking out.
Well, you know, when you get the rich people, they have all sorts of these weird personalities. They think they're better than everyone else.
Yeah.
They have all this money, like, "Oh, you're like a little intern over here. You might probably don't even make anything. You're probably just doing it to go and kiss up to us. So we might go and pay you minimum wage in like a year." And they don't care. You know, it's like the king, and then you guys are like, you know, the bearer of the stool or whatever. You know, the guy has to go and wipe the king's hiney. You know, that's how they treat
Lawrence
them.
O'Donnell.
O'Donnell too. Like,
O'Donnell.
And let's run
Rosie.
the family.
Yeah. Well, like, I remember at one point he's just like, and I'm giving you the clean cut of what he said. There's like lots of curse words, lots of F-bombs, and he's just like, "The control room is out of control." I'm like, what? You trying to be clever about your insults here? Like, he was so pissed. And of course, he's talking about Trump, so I think he was like extra triggered. He's like, "Donald Trump has no empathy." I'm like, well, look who's talking. My God.
Well, when you have that much money, you
ego,
you can do whatever you want, and that's the problem. There's no one who's going to go and tell them no, because people want to go and watch us for some reason.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like a lot of your singers, a lot of your, you know, famous people, they're absolutely jerks to deal with in person. There's some that are really
some
nice,
are very nice,
but you know, a lot of them, when you get so high, you just. You know, it's just like the ability to be a jerk to someone. You know, maybe you're treated like a jerk it's like the bully effect. You know, you get treated,
the victim becomes a bully.
You know, you get shoved in lockers by some guys, and then, you know, when you get jacked and like beefy, and you jack someone else into the locker, and it goes on. It's like a Mamba train, like dun 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 dun. And they just shove you in the locker.
And then they go all human centipede on you when they get power, and they start like strapping you together and doing gross stuff.
Oh shoot! Speaking of Netflix movies, there was a interesting series that
a very interesting series.
Yeah, we saw the other. I think it was like a couple weeks ago.
A very atypical series.
Oh yes, it was called Atypical, and it was about.
You want to talk about this?
Oh yes. You know, this is probably one of the most offensive. Not, you know, this is like it was about an autistic kid. It's supposed to
which isn't a bad thing. Let's get that out of the way.
That's fine.
It's not bad.
And it is his family, but it is so like just offensive. The guy is just like a walking like stereotype. It is the autistic equivalent of like. What you call it? Like Triumph of the Will, or like
Triumph of the Will.
What's that other movie?
What other movie?
What's that other?
Triumph of the Blues Hitler propaganda.
Yeah, pretty much. Like it'd be like the equivalent, like you. Well, not, yeah, it's like treating like it's making him out to be like this caricature of what autism is. Not Triumph. What's that other movie from like the early the first real movie?
Oh, you're thinking of the KKK one?
Yeah.
What's that called? Crap. I'll look it up. No. You keep going.
Basically, it is The Birth of a Nation.
Birth of a Nation, yes.
Replace, instead of that movie, they treat like black people like they're bad, but in this movie they treated autistic people like they were like terrible. Like the guy in that movie, he just was like a robot. He was just like, this guy's supposed to be high functioning, according to the the dialogue in the movie, and he was having meltdowns. He was going around and he would not stop talking about Antarctica and seals. Like,
oh god, it's so funny.
And then
he
goes and breaks into this his therapist's house.
Yeah.
To go and try to
give her chocolates
based off of some sort of polar bear mating ritual or something. Or like a penguin or like a waterfowl. I don't know. It's just like. It's rude, and
he wears those headphones all the time.
Oh yeah, it just looks so bad. And they try to make it as a progressive movie, but if this was any other minority group, they would be outraged.
Imagine if it was a Muslim, gay, that's already a ironic statement. Muslim, gay, autistic child at a all-white school. The outrage would be immense.
Well, no, if they treat it like any other thing, if it was he was like the black sheep of the family, maybe he was adopted or something, and it was he was part Asian, for instance. They're probably the one minority that the left doesn't consider a minority.
They're not a minority anymore.
If they treat if they go, they'd be making. The Fu Manchu sort of thing out of him, but no, this guy's autistic, so you can make fun of him and you can treat him like that.
This is a drama comedy, by the way.
It's supposed to be
cringe. Funny.
It's not even funny. It's cringe. The guy's family is the most dysfunctional thing I've ever seen in the world.
His dad is half decent, but then he leaves out of the blue, and then the wife is a total.
She was promiscuous. Can you say promiscuous?
I don't even know what that means.
A wonton woman.
Let's just say she went and screwed the bartender and not her husband, and she's so butthurt about it. She's like, it's not good enough.
And she keeps doing it with the bartender.
Yes.
And then the daughter. Those daughters just she's the mega. She's it's just like the generic teenage daughter. And then the actor for the guy, he's not even autistic. He's I think Netflix has a handful of actors.
Oh yeah. Well, the boyfriend acts more autistic than the autistic kid.
He does.
And the autistic kid is you feel sorry for him because he's going through all his crap. But then they stereotype him the whole time.
He's so unrealistic. It's just they went on to WikiHow what is autism? It's it doesn't. It's just rude.
And then he's got that Indian guy he works with.
Oh yeah, the Indian guy. He's a
tiny bit funny at times, but other times he's just a nerd trying to get chick stereotype, and he's just cringe.
Well, he's probably stereotyped too. Have you ever seen those Indian, the thirsty Indian meme? That's basically what this guy is. He just walks around, he tries to get. He was
always trying to get chicks.
Get with the mother of the family, which
that's creepy.
To be honest, I wouldn't put it past her.
I was gonna say she probably would go for him. At this point, she'd go for him. She'd go for any age. And he keeps he'd hug her occasionally and be flirting with her. I'm do you know what you're going after there? You're playing with fire.
Well, I had someone I used to know. They actually had that happen to him once.
What?
Oh yeah, they had an
incident.
Yeah, with a friend and their mom.
You got some interesting friends there, Alex.
I have stories. I could tell you stories all day.
Well, is there anything else about Atypical you want to talk about before we go on to our last thing?
No, I honestly just think it's trash, and it's it's not even funny. It's just cringe most of the time. It's just the wife is cheating on the daughter's being a teenager, and she's just the most boring character out of that.
Yeah.
And, none of them are realistic. It's just cringe, and I would not recommend it. Maybe if you were just really, really inebriated on some sort of substance and you had nothing else to do, and you already binge watched every other semi-reputable show off of Netflix, and you have nothing to lose, I guess, maybe. Or if you just want to watch a cringe compilation in the form of a Netflix series, go for it.
I think if they want to end the series properly, on a bombshell, on a high note, on a big, finale, the main kid should honestly shoot up the school. That would be...
Jesus!
I'm kidding, but let's be real. That would be like what they're pushing. No, what I'm saying is, look at the show. They're pushing him in that direction. They're showing that he's an outcast.
Well,
he's getting bullied. He's
that.
mentally ill. He's gonna find mommy and daddy's gun collection, and he's gonna shoot up the school.
No, I won't be surprised.
I think it's gonna happen.
No, I could see them portraying like autistic people like that because
He's not a school shooter. He's not a murderer. He's just a mentally ill person. He's not a monster.
Like they just made him out in such a bad way. If someone who was writing that series is listening to this, please fix it.
Yeah, please.
Next season, just go and start a whole new one. I don't want to see the rest of this.
Reboot it.
There's so much what was that? The Big Bang Theory. That's a more accurate, realistic of a high functioning autistic person, like Sheldon. He's absolutely
he's not autistic.
He is.
He's not. He's just a hyper nerd.
No, he's autistic.
Is he?
I'm fairly certain. That's what an autistic person.
Well, they're making the spin-off with young Sheldon now.
No, they don't need to deal with that.
I know.
That's the quest for more money.
Well, we need to deal with now South Africa with our final few minutes here. And I know you have all the real news on South Africa.
Oh, yeah. So, no one's paying attention to this. I have some friends from South Africa, there are more and more killings lately, farm killings, and no one's talking about this. If it's race based. If you're a white South Afrikaner, that's the
Afrikaner.
That's the colloquial. That's what they call them. They've been having a lot of problems lately, and the government has been allowing it to occur. They've been having
nice.
They've been having people go onto their farms, kill them. They go and rape the wife, and they go and burn.
Jesus.
They go and burn them to death as a form of revenge.
Sounds like ISIS crap.
It is, but no one's caring about it because they had apartheid and that was terrible. There's more people dying in that country. That's only a big country too.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably the size. That's probably the size of Texas or something, maybe.
Texas.
And people are dying like this. And the president Zuma, he can't even count. They asked him, he had to go and mention a number. It was 870 million.
That was on the Grand Tour.
870-700.
He can't count.
And he's the president.
But we have Trump.
Yeah, and this guy, he had a pool put into his house using taxpayer money. It was a luxury pool under the assumption that it was a fire prevention system. It was a pool.
It's a pool, man.
That is
not for luxury.
And the people in Zimbabwe too. They had Mr. Bobby Mugabe. He's another one of the terrible people. I mean, between him and Zuma, they're both pretty bad. But Mr. Bobby, he decided to. He said he won't prosecute people who killed white farmers to take their land. Yeah,
murder is legal, people.
Only to white people in Zimbabwe.
Wow, that's pretty bad.
I hope something happens over there. We need to go and both those countries ought to be sanctioned until they get someone competent in there. But you can't really, those countries. The average, what the average IQ of in those countries is.
20.
No, it's something it's between 60 and 70. You know what Coco the monkey has an IQ of 85.
Coco the monkey?
Yeah, the gorilla. The sign language one.
Harambe?
No. R.I.P.
Recipes.
But no. Coco. These people, and you expect them to go and vote for a I don't know how you would deal with that. It's not, you can't really compare them to the United States when you have a president who can't read. Say what you will about Trump, but their president cannot count over 100.
That was hilarious because I saw that clip on the Grand Tour. They were showing it and everybody's laughing so hard. And I'm just like, what else has he said that's really dumb? I mean, everybody says dumb stuff.
Dude, he raped someone who had...
What? And they complain about Duterte killing people.
Oh, he went and raped this woman in that country, and he said it was his right because he was from, I think, some Zulu tribe or something. He was part from some African tribes. It's my duty as a I saw her in a miniskirt and I couldn't control myself. I'm a proud Zulu warrior. and then she had AIDS, and he said, "Oh, it's okay. I washed afterwards." That was Mr.
Grade
Zuma.
8. There's the poster child for 8 activism right there. Screw Elton John. We have Mr. President Zulu, whoever his name is.
Zuma, like the video game.
Oh my God.
But less relevant.
I'm not a rape. The headline from Salon would be, I'm not a rapist. I'm just, or I'm not a monster. I'm a rapist.
A monster, but Zulu warrior.
And say with the school shooter, it's like I'm not a bird or I keep screwing this headline up because it's so backwards. It's so counterintuitive. Like I'm not a murderer, or I'm not a monster. I'm just a murderer. It's like what? They'd print it.
That guy has 700 corruption charges on him.
Yeah.
700. Say what you will about Trump. Like even Hillary Clinton, I despise that one, but she did not have 700.
Yeah.
Maybe she has half of that.
Thank you for listening. We'll be back next week with more real news.